a market is made up of people. People are motivated by greed, fear, and hopefully a sense of what is right and wrong. You seek to capture the wrong and to provide incentives against rule breaking, but there is a very big grey area which comes down to professionalism. I mean, in many ways, the trends in media are towards, it gets more competitive, it arguably compromises ethical standards. And that doesn't just apply to business, that applies to all forms of media. The desire to get a scoop, to be first with the news. Media channels are proliferating, online, newspapers, television. We face tremendous competition. So the pressure is to not necessarily to hold back on a story. What do we actually know, not what do we think we know? So that's where the pressure's coming from. I mean, if you're to maintain your relevance in this debate, it's very important that, as an editor, in terms of managing people, that there is a high degree of ethics in the way that you approach them. At the simplest level, that is, obviously reporters should not be taking any form of advantage from companies that they cover. That, I mean, in terms of making cross-border comparisons, it's still standard practice in the mainland that a listed company would hand out red envelopes of cash for a routine press conference. I mean, that I think is something that is very uncommon in Hong Kong, and if it is, it would be done in the most covert way. There's a constant pressure to maintain, ethical levels of journalism.
I think ethics is part of corporate governance and the most fundamental components of good CG. Once you have a good ethical standard, you have a good corporate culture, then the additional measures you need to produce good corporate governance will be much less costly. If everybody behave well, I mean, you create a good culture, everybody practice ethics. I don't think you need so stringent internal control. You don't need so many close monitoring. You don't need so many monetary incentive. That helps a lot. And you don't even need so many rules and regulations. If everybody is so ethical and doing their good job on their own, that will reduce a lot of organizational costs and social costs in terms of enforce so many controls and rules.
There seems to be a general consensus that ethics is relevant to corporate governance. But this leads to the question of whether you can regulate for good ethics. Can you rely on an explicit set of rules and regulations to ensure that people in business always do the right thing? Hong Kong has by and large followed the UK style of regulation, which attempts to set out the main principles to be followed, rather than making a very detailed set of rules for every situation. Proponents of this principles-based regulatory style point out that it encourages individuals to think about the spirits of the legislation rather than simply following the letter of the law. Let's hear what our guests have to say.
I don't think you could ever enshrine ethical value into a set of rules and regulations. I think that is always going to have to be up to the company and the individuals and the senior management to implement as best they can, but you can't regulate or legislate for it. And at the end of the day, there can be no guarantee that an employee is not going to behave badly. I mean, that there is no complete guarantee that everyone is always going to behave well. All you can do is do your best to try and instill some values in the employees and hope that they take that on board.
No, you can regulate for bad ethics. In other words, if you fail, if your ethics lead you in the direction of illegality or rule breaking, that's what regulations can do. But if someone chooses to sail as close to the wind as he can without going over the line, sorry, can I stop that? Two metaphors there. If someone chooses to go right to the edge of regulations and just keep within them, the regulators can do nothing. I think there is clearly, and I think this is very unfortunate, a move within corporate life towards, in the American model, everything being looked at by the lawyers. Americans, of course, would argue, well, we've got probably the most successful capitalist economy in the world. What does that matter? As an accountant, I think it's horrible. And I think that it is sad if the first thing you do when you're thinking of something, you turn to your lawyers and say, can I do this? Or even worse, if you turn to your lawyers and say, how can I do this? And I'm afraid that if one looks at the way regulation is going and the way issues are being dealt with, we will see a more legalistic approach to enforcement of regulation, which I think is sad. But that's the way we are seeing it move, and it will continue to happen. Does it necessarily cramp people's style? I think that people will learn to live with it. As I said, we've seen the US, where there are very, very successful models. And I think that they have built within them a natural thinking that people talk to their lawyers, they have lawyers in-house with advice on what they can and can't do legally, and it doesn't seem to prevent them. I think for the rest of us who have not grown up in that approach, will see that the need to continually speak to lawyers, at first they will find it constricting, but I don't actually think in reality it makes a difference, although it's not a move which I approve of.